What's up, my comic comrades? Today we're continuing to cover the Joker War story arc that's taking place within the Batman title. Last week we covered issues 96 and 97, which is part 2 and part 3 of the Joker War story. And this week we're covering issues 98 and 99, which is part 4 and part 5 of said story. If you're not caught up with Joker War, be sure to check out our videos on the entirety of the story thus far right here. But now it's time to talk about issues 98 and 99. The issue starts off with the Scarecrow and the Riddler playing a game of chess, but being the villains they are, this ultimately leads to a fight between the two of them as Scarecrow keeps antagonizing the Riddler, eventually saying, "I'm not playing chess, Edward, I'm playing you." On the next page, we see the two are fighting and playing this game in the Penguin's hideout, where he has gathered several of Gotham's supervillains to hide out while the Joker wages war on the streets of Gotham. Then as Catwoman is looking at the news reports, she says to Penguin, "This is all my fault. I gave him the weapon he needed to do this war. I gave him the money to fund his war, Penguin." Penguin then replies, "Don't undersell yourself, dear. You gave him the money to win his war." Catwoman then says while looking at the news, "Come on now, Bat, pull yourself together. The city's in pain. It's calling out to you. Can't you hear it?" On the next page, we see Bruce in the Batcave working on some batarangs. As Bruce throws one at a mannequin head, Alfred says, "You're gonna need more compartments in your utility belt." As Alfred continues to talk to Bruce, Bruce all of a sudden has his cowl and gauntlets on. Bruce then realizes he's having a hallucination and tells Alfred, "Harley Quinn gave me some tea." Alfred says yes. Bruce then tells him, "You're not real. You're dead." To which again Alfred says, "Yes." Alfred then continues to say, "But you aren't. You've been given the gift of being able to step back from the action to take an aerial view, to see the big picture you haven't let yourself see. You have no idea how long it's going to take for Miss Quinn's concoction to purge the toxins from your system. Now, if you're going to have some tea, let's do it properly." We are then taken out of the hallucination to reality where Harley Quinn is waiting for her concoction to work on Batman and for him to snap out of it. But as she's waiting, Batman mumbles, "Tea sounds good," to the kitchen, to which Harley says, "Now he's got the munchies, God help us." As Harley says this, a voice from behind her says, "Do you ever shut up? I really should have cut just a little deeper." Harley turns her head saying, "Pammy, is that you?" But the next page reveals it's Punchline holding a flamethrower. Punchline tells Harley, "Oh, you thought if you brought Batman here you could lure out your old girlfriend? That's sweet. But Harley, you really should have picked somewhere a whole lot less flammable." The next page takes us back to Bruce's hallucination where Alfred is making him one of his signature teas. As Bruce sits down to drink it, Alfred asks, "How bad is it?" referring to the Joker's war, not his tea. Bruce responds, "He's using my family's money to tie up the legal system, to keep gangs on the streets, terrorizing people, killing people. He's taken the fortune, the Manor and Wayne Enterprises. He had Lucius Fox poisoned and forced him to help modify my vehicles into something deadly. He's going to kill thousands more after making them watch the same movie I watched the night I lost my parents. Gotham City's death bought and paid for by the Wayne fortune." Alfred responds, "You saw from the beginning the Joker lives in a cold, dead world where you and he are the only real living beings. He mocks love and family by pulling his acolytes close to him, making a joke of your family, your relationships. He puts so many lives at risk, so you know you can't save them all, because he knows you are his opposite. There is no difference to him in taking one life or 1,000,000 lives, but there is to you." Even hallucination Alfred drops knowledge on Bruce. However, back in the real world, Harley has thrown Batman on her shoulders, running from Punchline asking, "Why are you so damn heavy? You jump off roofs for God's sake." She's running with him because Punchline is setting everything on fire around them. Harley eventually throws Batman's body on the ground and starts fighting back, shooting, as she says, a big freaking gun. Harley is able to knock the flamethrower out of Punchline's hand, saying, "You know, Punchy, I'm really starting not to like you very much." The two then get into a pretty big fight for the second time during the story arc, and the whole time they're fighting, Punchline is telling Harley that she's always been way too stupid to realize that she's just a means to an end for the Joker. She's just a pathetic, lovesick girl, and Harley responds, "And what the hell do you think you are?" Punchline then gives a brief rundown of her origin to Harley, ending with saying, "I believe in the Joker, in what he stands for, and I'll be at his side when he finally kills Batman, and we take this war from city to city until everyone has heard his message." If you guys want to know Punchline's origin in great detail, we did an episode on it, which you can check out right here. Anyway, Harley then picks herself off the ground saying, "You know, I feel sorry for you, kid. You still don't see that we're exactly the same. I thought Mr. J had a heart, you think he has a brain, but he's not doing this for any of the reasons you think he is. He doesn't believe in anything. He's a manipulator. He's manipulating you." Punchline replies saying, "You don't get it. You want everyone to be as stupid as you were." Harley responds by giving her some sweet chin music, before getting on top of her pounding away saying, "I feel sorry for you, Punchy, but not sorry enough to not kick your ass." And as Harley is beating the crap out of Punchline, she's telling her there's nothing in this world that he's ever gonna care about more than that stupid bat. At which point Punchline is able to get Harley off of her and says, "You're wrong, and I'll prove it. I'll show you what the Joker really believes once I kill Batman myself." We are then taken back to Bruce's hallucinations with Alfred. Alfred tells Bruce, "You have spent too much time trying to save my life because you won't accept that I'm dead. You have pushed away the people that remind you of that fact. You hold it against Damien, who sat in a chair across from me, helpless as it happened. You hold it against Richard, who was not himself to help you fight Bane. You hold it against Selena for making you feel it was safe not to come home for a moment longer, for not wanting to come home. And then you try to transform this city into what you thought I wanted it to be, opening the doors to the devil itself." And Bruce just replies with his head down, "I failed." Alfred then yells at Bruce saying, "No, this story isn't over yet," as he slaps him across the face. Alfred continues to scream in his face saying, "You are Batman. You need to accept the world you live in and accept what you can't control. You need to accept that you did not and cannot save me. You also need to accept that you did not and cannot save your parents, but you can save yourself. And in doing so, you could save the lives of so many people in that city you love so much. Every life you save is a victory against death, against the Joker." I love Alfred so much. Even Hallucination Alfred is brilliant. All right, back to the story. Bruce looks at Alfred and says, "I don't think I could do it alone." Alfred replies, "Then don't. Find your family. Find your love. Take back your city. Let go of the weight. Let go of the guilt. Let go of me and do what you must do. Be the impossible man that saves all the families on their way home from the theater." Bruce then tells Alfred, "If I wake up with my mind intact, I won't hear your voice anymore. I don't know if I could do it without you." Alfred then grabs Bruce by the face and says, "My boy, this is you doing it without me. I'm only a voice in your head, telling you what you need to hear to steady yourself to do what needs to be done. You don't need me on the other end of that bat computer to know exactly what I tell you in any circumstance. So wake up, my boy. Tell the city who you are," as he smiles at Bruce with tears coming down his face. And Bruce looks at Alfred with tears coming down his face as well. Batman then wakes up just in the nick of time before Punchline was about to kill him. Punchline then says, "You're awake? That's not possible. The toxin's in your system." Batman says, "It has no hold over me anymore." And Punchline replies, "But how? That's not possible." Batman replies by spreading his cape wide open saying, "I'm Batman." Needless to say, Batman then makes quick work of Punchline, knocking her out, to which Harley says, "It's about damn time you did that." She had this whole sad sack story, and if I had to listen to another minute of it, I was gonna off myself. Batman then pulls a device out of his utility belt called the Battery and tells it, "This is Batman. Get me the location of the family." The device says, "Designate which family members." Batman replies, "I need everyone," with a grin on his face. Then back at the Penguin's hideout, Catwoman says, "I'm leaving," and Penguin says, "I believe I told you that's impossible." Catwoman tells him, "It won't be, and you're gonna come with me, along with Eddie." Penguin then says, "Ha, my dear, why on earth would you think you could recruit us into superheroics during a Joker attack of all things?" Catwoman looks at both of them saying, "What if I told you I could make you billionaires?" As the comic ends. This leads us into issue 99. The issue starts off with one of Joker's henchmen saying, "Sir, it's been made to your exact specifications." And the Joker replies, "I know. That's why I'm laughing." As we see the Joker get a Jokerized stretched Hummer limo, the Joker says, "It's the most ludicrous thing I've ever seen. I love it." The Joker then tells the driver to take him the long way to Ace Chemical, as we see the streets of Gotham literally on fire. The Joker then starts making small talk with his driver saying, "I remember the grit on the streets walking home. Not sure if you're gonna get mugged by a cop or a robber." He tried to change that, try to root out the corruption and make people believe in something selfish and strange. A child's fantasy of justice infected the city, stripped out the dark life and danger from it, made it a cartoon show. The Bat never saw the truth, never saw Gotham's festering, rotting, hungry face, desperate to swallow you whole. He thinks it's his city. He bought his way into giving the city a masked illusion to make it forget what it is. And as the Joker is saying all of this, we see on the rooftop nearby, the Clown Hunter throwing one of Joker's henchmen off the building. I gotta say, we haven't seen all that much of the Clown Hunter, but what we have seen of him is pretty dope. I feel like him and Red Hood would be the best of friends. We are then treated to a splash page of Gotham City on fire in complete and utter chaos by Joker and his henchmen. And as we see all of this, the Joker is saying that Gotham has always been his city, and that he knows that Gotham doesn't care about how many people live or die. It doesn't care about good or bad. It just doesn't want to be bound by anyone's rules. It wants to be free. It wants to hurt people. It wants to be dangerous again. I gotta say, I love how the Joker refers to Gotham as if it's a real living, breathing thing and not just buildings and streets that people live on. Once Joker arrives at Ace Chemicals, he gets out and shoots his driver, because the Joker. He then gets a call from Punchline who says, "They got the one up on me. I thought Batman was down for the count. They left me tied up for the cops, but some of our boys got to me first. I'm sorry, I wanted to do more." And the Joker says, "All that means is we're ready for the final act. The streets are in chaos, but it's time we put your chemistry to use. It looks like your toxins are already en route to finish the job. I'm gonna clean things up around here. I want those theaters filled." Punchline replies, "He's gonna come for you." Joker says, "I know. Isn't it fun?" Punchline replies, "Aren't you worried?" And the Joker says, "No, dear, not at all. I know exactly where he is and what he's going to do next. I just need to put on my new suit." On the next page, we see that Batman has gathered the Bat family on a Gotham City rooftop saying, "He knows me. He knows this will be my next move. He's forced my hand. He wants me too afraid to put you in the field, but he's made it so there's no other choice." And he's saying all of this as we look on at Red Hood, Dick Grayson, Signal, Orphan, Harley Quinn, Spoiler, Batgirl, and Red Robin. Batman goes on to tell them, I should have brought you in from the beginning. This last year has been hard, but I think I'm finally seeing clearly for the first time in a long time. I'm sorry I haven't been better. I have to be. I will be. But right now our city is in chaos. Joker is using everything I've built to leave this city to waste. It's only gonna get worse from here. He goes on to say that Batwoman and the GCPD have already stormed Wayne Enterprises and rescued Lucius Fox, but we've barely scratched the surface of what needs to be done. Right now, theaters are filling up all over Gotham. Joker is gonna play the people of our city a movie, and then he's going to kill them. I need you to stop it. And stop the violence happening in the streets. It's a lot to ask, but I know I can trust you to take our city back. Dick then asks Batman, and where will you go? And he replies, Joker's at Ace Chemical. I'll go to him there. I'll put an end to this. And Harley says, I'm going with you so I can kill the Joker. Batman just says to her, that's not happening. As they're all about to go their separate ways to take back the city, one of Joker's henchmen shoots a rocket at them from one of the buildings several blocks away, but Batman being Batman just throws a batarang at it, making it explode in midair before it hits them. Dick then tells Batman, you need to go, Bruce. We'll get the city under control. He replies, Dick, I think it might be time for a change of clothes. I grabbed this from one of the micro caves on the way, as he gives Dick a briefcase with his Nightwing costume in it. For those of you who don't know, Dick Grayson had lost his memory when he got shot during Tom King's Batman run, and just recently he got his memory back in Nightwing issue 74. So Bruce is giving him his Nightwing costume saying, it's good to have you back, and Dick replies, you too. Dick then tells Bruce, but there's a part in this you still haven't mentioned. He still has your fortune. What are you gonna do about that? And Batman says, first we take the Joker, then we worry about the money. Elsewhere, Catwoman, Penguin, and the Riddler are about to attack the Underbroker to get the Wayne fortune back and make themselves billionaires. The heist actually takes place in Catwoman issue 25, so if you guys wanna check that out, that's where to do so. Anyway, we then get textless awesome pages of Batman swooping down, landing in front of Ace Chemical, and then walking towards it like the badass Dark Knight that he is. The art in this series has just been phenomenal. But as Batman is about to walk in, Harley shoots at him with a bullet grazing Batman's shoulder. Batman then says, damn it, Harley, at which point she keeps insisting that she's going to kill the Joker, saying, what the hell did you think I kept saving your life for, Bats? Didn't you get the point, the big picture? It's time for his story to end. Batman then grabs her by the jacket saying, Harley, you know I can't let that happen. Harley responds, that's not good enough, not anymore. I should have let those toxins do its job. Here's the deal I'll make. If he kills you, I'm taking the shot. Ending it right then and there. I don't care about your stupid code or any of that. If he's gonna get away with killing all of those people, the Gothamites, if I see him ready to pull the trigger, I will shoot him down. And Batman says, no. Harley then looks at Batman with tears in her eyes saying, then you stop me. You put me down hard. You make sure I won't get right back up and finish the job myself. This can't just be like all the other times. The story needs to change. It needs an ending. Batman just looks at her and walks away into Ace Chemical. Once inside Ace Chemical, Batman says, Joker, it's over. We will have the city back in just a few hours, and you'll be incarcerated long before that. Do whatever you're doing, make whatever play you want, but no, I'm ready for it. The Joker replies, oh really? As zombie Alfred comes from behind one of the vats of acid. Joker then tells Batman, dug him up from your backyard myself. I know you must still have more to say to him after losing him like you did. You know, you didn't treat the dead all that well back at the Monarch. But this one I've been saving for the grand finale, as Alfred snaps his neck down saying, Master Bruce. Batman then says, no, this isn't real, as someone in a Batsuit lurks behind Batman. We need to pause for a second because the Joker apparently dug up Alfred's body and then used the designer's tech to make him some sort of zombie to attack Batman. Just when you think the Joker can't get any crazier or more twisted, he does something like this. Anyway, on the final page of the issue, we see the person in the Batsuit behind Batman is the Joker, in his own customized Batsuit, pointing a gun at Batman's head while saying, see Bruce, I promise you're not ready for this at all, as the comic ends. Guys, this story has been so good thus far. I really don't have any complaints about it. It just keeps getting crazier and crazier. Issue 98 was phenomenal with all the dialogue between Alfred and Bruce, even though it was really just Bruce having a conversation with himself, as in reality, Alfred is dead. But nonetheless, it was so good. I highly recommend you guys read that issue for yourself to get every piece of dialogue. Then in issue 99, Batman finally got the Bat family back, and Harley just wants to end the Joker once and for all. Which is an awesome dynamic considering she was his girlfriend and right-hand woman for years, so I'm very intrigued to see how that pans out. Dick Grayson also got his memory back and is now Nightwing once again, back in the black and blue costume. And the Joker made his own Batsuit for his showdown with Batman. I can't wait to see how he uses it and what tricks it has. This is gonna be so dope. And it's all coming to a conclusion in Batman issue 100. That's right, the next issue is the conclusion to Joker War. And I cannot wait to read it and talk about it with you guys. But until then, what do you guys think about the Joker War thus far? And what do you think about Joker's Batsuit? What tricks and weapons do you think it's gonna have? Let us know in the comment section down below. First up for the week of October 30th, we have Fantastic Four issue 24. Do you guys remember the time Iceman replaced the Human Torch as a member of the Fantastic Four? No? Well, Johnny Storm sure does, and now it's time to let everyone else in on this little secret of the Fantastic Four story we never were supposed to know. Now we have Spawn issue 310. This Spawn title has been giving us new heroes and villains and new costumes. The mysterious and dangerous army of Spawn continues to grow. First the She-Spawn, then the Reaper, and then Medieval Spawn, and now Gunslinger Spawn has made his presence known. But is he a hero or a villain? Now we have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue 54. While the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fight Lord Zedd's Dark Rangers, the Omega Rangers come face to face with an all-new enemy, one that threatens to destroy all life in the galaxy. And lastly, we have Batman 3 Jokers issue 2. What can I say? This is easily one of the best Batman books to hit shelves in a very long time. We're actually going to be covering issue 2 on the channel very soon here. And just like that, my comic comrades, that brings yet another episode of Variant to a close. But if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to check out this one right here. And if you like our channel, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. It always helps us out. But I will see you guys next time when I talk about all things comics.